You guys rarely ever see me at my most presentable, but we vibe. Hi besties, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to an all new reading vlog. I've been meaning to film a reading vlog for the longest time, but I just could not finalize what I wanted to film, how I wanted to film. Here we are. This video is going up on Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day to all of you people. I hope you guys have the best day. That being said, let's get on with this video. So I thought it would be really fun today to do a reading vlog where I let random emojis pick my next read. Basically what I'm gonna do is I went on Google and I looked up random emoji generator, and we are just going to generate new emojis and we're gonna just pick books that correlate to said emoji. And I'm only going to be picking from my physical TBR, so I'm not going to be looking at my Kindle TBR. I want to get my physical TBR down as much as I can, and also my priority reads are my February TBR, obviously. Let's get started. Okay, so I just wrote in on Google random emoji generator and I opened the very first one that popped up. I'm gonna screen record so I can show you guys right here. I'll have it right here. I have no space on my phone, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna do this. Okay, we're gonna pick emojis for book one. I'm just gonna randomize it a little bit right now. We're gonna pick book one. An alarm clock. Okay, I'm gonna look at my TBR and see if there's anything that can correlate to that. I'm gonna come back with some options. So when I went onto my TBR cart, first thing I noticed, I found two books that could possibly correlate to this emoji, which is an alarm clock. But when I think of an alarm clock, I also think of time. And I think from these two books, this one is giving very much read in the summer, and this one is giving fall winter-esque, and it's also February, and there's a big heart on here and it's pink. So I'm going to be reading Love in the Time of Serial Killers for the alarm clock, and the alarm clock is red. So I think this one is absolutely perfect. Okay, so for book number two, I did randomize two. So we're just gonna randomize, and then we are going to select. Okay, so it's a heart and a middle finger. Okay, wait, that's really interesting because I think I have a few books that can align to it. So I'm gonna just go grab them and we'll discuss. Okay, when I see a heart like that with a middle finger, I'm immediately thinking it's a love story that somewhere, somehow went wrong, and there is this animosity towards one another. So my mind immediately went to Better by Far by Hazel Hayes. Now this is on my February TBR, which is why I am beyond excited to be able to pick this up, and I've been eyeing this for the past 3 days. This is basically about a couple who had broken up, but they're alternating the apartment because I think the lease hasn't expired or something. They have 12 weeks left on the lease, and the two of them share the house or share the apartment, but they're alternating weeks. She's basically just dealing with all of the emotions that come upon. These are the two books that I've picked for this challenge, for this emoji, or I didn't pick, the emojis picked these books. I think I want to start with, I kind of want to start with Better by Far. Like, I'm very much leaning towards this book, so I think I'm gonna grab my sticky tabs and we're gonna get right into this reading vlog. Yeah. Let's start reading. You know, the thing with Hazel Hayes writing is that it's so relatable and raw that you're immediately put into the story. I don't know if it's just that I'm traumatized, but I relate to everything she writes. From the absolute first page, I literally underlined everything on the first page. I'm literally on page 2, and I just want to read what this says. So basically, obviously, they broke up. It starts with the fact that we know that they broke up. She's a writer, but she's basically writing, I'm guessing it's kind of like journal entries, because the very first sentence says, I'm supposed to be writing a book, but instead I find myself writing to you. She's sitting here writing to him, did whatever it is. I'm assuming it's like her diary. So she's talking about how he's gone, but she's like, you're not really gone. Your clothes are still here, your CDs are stacked, your squash racket is here, whatever. And then she says, you even left your passport here in the top drawer of your bedside table. It occurred to me just moments ago to check if it was there, and I must admit my relief in finding it. Not that it matters where you are, I suppose, if we won't be seeing each other anyway. It's just easier knowing you're stuck here too. In drizzly dark Dublin, where places carry with them reminders of me, and not sitting at a table by some quaint town square in Paris perhaps, or maybe Croatia. Yeah, that feels right, Croatia. With its mild evenings, cobbled streets, and local beer on tap. Local women too. All of them. Perfect in your eyes because you don't know them yet. Haven't fought with them yet. Haven't seen them sick or sad or suicidal. I'm gonna continue reading. Okay, hi besties. I think it's about time that I give you guys an update because it's been a couple of days and I haven't really said anything. I am reading Better by Far still. I am on page 170, so I'm like about 70% of the way through the book. The thing I love most about Hazel Hayes' writing is that, yeah, there's not that much happening, but it's very real and raw in the sense that you're basically just living life with the main character. And I think like a great comparison would be Sally Rooney. So if you like Sally Rooney's writing, I feel like Hazel Hayes is like the perfect person who would have like similar writing style. Up until this point, there like genuinely there's nothing happening. It's just that the breakup happened and it's basically just her navigating through that breakup and kind of getting over it. And then she's also dealing with grief of losing her mom, although she lost her mom a long time ago. But I think this book really focuses on that grief really well, and I feel like that's very real and a lot of authors don't really touch on that much, which is why I really appreciate Hazel Hayes' writing. But yeah, so right now I don't even know what week it is, but she's basically just like finding herself. Yeah, that's basically all I can say. The quotes are beautiful, the prose is beautiful. I love this book. I knew I would love it. I do feel like it might be a 5-star read. Every time I do pick it up, I don't want to put it down. A lot of that comes from the fact that the language is so simple. It's very everyday speak. It's just her as though she's writing a diary and talking to her ex-boyfriend. I want to finish this book today. I have 130 pages because it's like I think 300 pages on the dot. So I'm gonna sit here. I'm going to continue reading. Hopefully I can finish it today. I really want to finish it today, but I do have other things that I want to occupy myself with. So I'm gonna continue reading now and I will update you guys when I have an update, and then we will get on to the second book of this, the second and final book of this challenge. I just finished this book. I'm getting the same feeling I got when I read Hazel Hayes' first book, Out of Love. I'm speechless. There's just something about the way that she writes, the way that she can connect with the reader that really gets me. I think this book is perfect for Tortured Poets Department girls. This is a 5-star read. It's such a good balance between heartbreak and grief, and then also like tying in everything. And also, yes, there's not much like plot happening because it's fully character driven. I think if you don't like character driven books, this book is not for you. The way that she was in the relationship, the way that she is after the breakup, the whole thought process behind her missing him and her shifting her attention to her mom who had passed away, like all the little clues that are given in the beginning of the book that you kind of just think that they're just there for progression of plot, but like everything ties in at the end and it's just such a beautiful read. Also, I think it tackled a lot of issues that come with being an artist and the way that people perceive artists and the way that people perceive art. It was just all around great book for me. I loved it so much. I love the characters in here. I think now I'm going to lay down and go to bed. Tomorrow morning I'm going to start the second book for this video, second and final book. I originally, every time I do reading vlogs, I like to do 3 books, but February is just a little hectic for me. That being said, I'm going to go to sleep now. Tomorrow morning I'll probably start Love and Time of Serial Killers and I'll talk to you guys then. Okay, hi besties. I figured it was time for an update because I haven't really told you guys where I'm at with this book. I am about halfway through. I'm on chapter 14. I don't know how I feel about it that much. It's not a bad book. I'm not gonna say it's a bad book. I think it's pretty decent. I think when I was reading the first 2 chapters, it was so witty and funny that I was sitting here like, yes, these are good. And then I kind of got held back, and so I went on Spotify and I saw that they had the audiobook, and so I just decided I'm going to listen to the audiobook of this book. And honestly, it is so much better. Explaining what this book is about Phoebe Walsh. She is a PhD candidate and she's obsessed with true crime and serial killers, and she's doing her dissertation on true crime. Her father has just recently passed away, so she moved back to her hometown, clear up the house to get it ready to sell. And she meets her neighbor, who at first she thinks is a serial killer, and she basically is just wary of him, and then she realizes pretty soon that he's just a normal guy. I think the thing is, in the back, it promises so much more like her thinking that he's a serial killer and that being like a major plot, but that's like resolved within like 6 chapters. I went into this book assuming that she was going to have this like headstrong belief that he's like a full-fledged serial killer. There's gonna be like these random moments where she's just gonna be like low-key terrified but fascinated because she's just gonna be like chasing after that, oh my god, is he a serial killer type of thing. But no, he's like as obsessed with her as she is him. I don't know, the whole thing, it just doesn't seem like the book that I was promised. I also noticed a few like discrepancies, like here on the cover she has jet black hair with blue eyes, but in the book she's described as having brown hair that looks red in the sunlight and brown eyes. Then who is that? Who's on the cover? Also, she just gives me major I'm not like other girl vibes, because the amount of times that she says, yeah, I know like normal people do this, but like I'm not normal. No, I don't like that behavior. Am I just hating? Am I just a hater? Am I the problem? I'm having a fun time. I just don't think it's what I signed up for. That's my thoughts for this book. I'm going to continue reading this book. I kind of low-key want to finish it tonight. I don't know if I'll be able to, but I kind of want to. I'm going to turn on the audiobook while I sit here. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I think I'll just see you guys once I'm done with this book and give you guys my final thoughts, and we can talk then. Do you ever read a book that you get very deep into and then you low-key regret not DNFing it? I think that's where I'm at right now. I'm going to finish this book just because I only have this much left. I don't think it's logical for me to DNF it at this point, but there's just so many like weird comments in here. I don't know. On page 97, this part where she's just like talking about how the male main character, he plays the guitar and stuff like that, and so she makes a joke and she goes, you're worried I'll be so impressed I'll like drop my pants. I said, I won't be able to help myself because your playing is so magnetic. It'll be like a John Mayer concert, or what I imagine a John Mayer concert would be like if I had the stomach for it. First of all, I don't know what you mean if you had the stomach for it. I don't know, maybe I'm just not connecting to her. Then as a joke, I kind of just underlined it and I was like, we don't like John Mayer because I'm a Taylor Swift fan. Whenever I annotate books, they always like write little comments that relate to me. But now I thought that was just like a little tiny thing, and now we're on page 229 and I really need help understanding what this line really means, because she's talking to her neighbor and they've hooked up and she's saying like she's talking about all the other things that she has going on in her life, and she's telling him like, just so you know, I can't dedicate every single hour of my day to you. So she goes, I'm just saying I may need some space. I said, suddenly more serious, not in a Taylor Swift kind of way. I do want to be with you. I just have a lot going on. What is that supposed to mean? The whole John Mayer comment and then bringing up Taylor Swift is just so off-putting to me, because if you were going to reference Taylor in a positive connotation, I don't think you would have mentioned John Mayer in a positive connotation in the same way, because there's a billion other guitar players that she could have named. She could have literally, she's talking about the guitarist of Red Hot Chili Peppers. It's just throwing me off. I don't know. I originally, when I was reading this, like before I got to this portion, I was like, okay, I guess I can settle for a 3-star. I'm not liking this book. It's just giving very much anti-women. The way that the main character talks is so insufferable. I'm gonna go finish this book and then we'll discuss. Guess who finished this book? I have thoughts. I finalized my rating. I'm giving this book a 1-star. I had so many hopes going into this book. I was so excited to read this book because this cover is so pretty. I love this cover. I thought it would be the perfect book for February. Boy, was I wrong. Now, my issue with this book, starting off with the cover not being main character, I don't know who the hell this is supposed to be. I didn't like the main characters. Phoebe's supposed to be 30. She's literally immature. The amount of times that she compares herself to normal girls and just talks about, oh my god, I'm like not skinny, I wear black all the time, and I'm just so quirky because I have this insane obsession with serial killers. Like, it's just not normal. And it's like, okay, I get it, but your obsession with serial killers didn't even take you that far. I think when I read the back of the book, I assumed that this book would be something completely different than what it actually was. I would have enjoyed it a lot more had the whole my neighbor's a serial killer plot been more important. I feel like that only lasted for 50 pages where she was like, oh my god, he could be a serial killer because he has like weird liquid on his hand, he's soundproofing his garage, but all that stuff got debunked so early in the book. Like, literally the first time she goes to her house, he shows her entire house and he's like, okay, how can I get rid of your assumptions of me being a serial killer? Then it's like, what is the point? Because the whole point of this book was that it was supposed to be a little funny that she's falling for a guy she thinks is a serial killer, but at this point she doesn't think he's a serial killer. She's already swooning over him because everything's been debunked. So I feel like the back of the book just really leads you on a path thinking that it's going to be something completely different than what it actually is. I think I'm going to go to bed now because that just messed with my psyche, and I will do a wrap up of this tomorrow morning where I'll just discuss both books. So I'll see you guys next morning. Alright, let's recap. So in this video, I read 2 books, Love in the Time of Serial Killers and Better by Far, and the range was insane. Now, when I went into both of these books, I assumed this one would be a 5-star just because I gave her first book a 5-star. I thought this one would at least be a 3. I wasn't thinking it would be like literary masterpiece of the year, but I thought it would be at least a 3-star. I ended up not liking it, and I did give it a 1-star, and I gave this a 5-star. So that just shows you the range. This cover was beautiful. I thought I would adore this book because of the cover, but the cover doesn't even match the character, and that's saying something. I wanted to give it a 2-star because I was like, it's not that bad, but like compared to my other 2 stars, this just does not. I don't know. I felt more comfortable giving it a 1-star, maybe like a 1.5. But that is it for this video where random emojis picked my reads. This was fun. I think I had a lot of fun picking these books out. I don't know if any of you understood why I picked the books that I picked, but in my head they made sense. That is it for today's video. Happy Valentine's Day, and I hope you guys have the best day ever, and I hope if you guys are staying home and reading, I hope you'll find a 5-star read tonight. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!